parents my mother came from Canada, and my father was a Cambridge person, or lived in Arlington and Cambridge around Boston. And they were married in the Catholic Church. And although it wasn't the church, it was the priest house, because in those days, because my father was a Protestant, in those days they didn't marry in the church. Barbara was about 5 years younger than I was. I had a nice childhood. I had a very pleasant childhood. My father ran a lumber business in Melrose, Mass, and but he, because of the times, he lost the business, and I'm not sure why he lost it. You know, they never discussed it around me, and I probably wouldn't have known why anyway. And I didn't think too much about it. As long as my mother could serve a meal, and I enjoyed life then, you know. I was just a kid. My father, after he lost the lumber yard, he started to work, and he had trouble getting a job because there was no jobs around, you know, and it wasn't easy for them, my parents, during that time. And so we moved to Somerville, Mass. I think I was in the 4th grade. And that was quite a surprise, quite a downcoming from going from Melrose, which was a sort of a fancy town, to Somerville, which was not quite as fancy. But they had good-looking girls in Somerville, because I married one. We lived in a 2-family house, and it was good. I have nothing to say but good things about Somerville.
I had a wonderful childhood. You know, we didn't know anything different. You know, it was a working class neighborhood, and we walked to school, decent walk to school, and came home for lunch and went back again, you know. And I enjoyed school. I enjoyed my teachers. I was active in anything that was going on, if I could possibly be, you know. I enjoyed school, and I did pretty well in school, you know. Growing up in Somerville was, as I remembered, a very pleasant experience. Life was good. We were a happy family. We didn't have a lot. We never had a car. We had to, anytime we wanted to go any place, we had to walk for public transportation, which was a good, healthy walk. I would say probably from our house to the closest trolley car or bus was probably close to a mile. Close to a mile, I think. But that was part of living there, and I think, looking back at it, it was probably a very healthy thing. We were getting exercise whether we wanted it or not. My brother Paul was about 2.5 years younger than me. I should know, but I'd have to go back and calculate. He was about 2.5 years younger, and he was a very active little boy. Was in the habit of wandering off. He would get on his bicycle and ride off into the wild blue yonder. And that was one of the things I remember as a youngster going, looking for Paul. Where did Paul go? Ethel was 5 years younger than me. And she was 5 years younger, which, you know, we weren't very close as kids, but we got along well. But we didn't play together. We had our own age, gender that we played with, neighborhood kids, lots of children in the neighborhood. We lived in a neighborhood, they were all 2-family houses, so lots of middle class, lower middle class people, working people. So we had a very pleasant, I think, very pleasant childhood. I remember getting along pretty well with my sister. Probably when we were teenagers, I can remember, you know, nipping at each other when I was washing the dishes and she was drying. It was her job to dry. She'd pass back a dish saying it wasn't clean, and it was like, typical sisters 5 years apart, you know. All in all, of course, now when you look back, your memories, you have very good memories. You don't remember bad memories, but I don't think there were any. You know, I mean, we got along pretty well, and we enjoyed the same things. In those days, neither one of us had a bicycle. My parents were afraid for us to have bicycles because of the danger of riding out on the street with cars and so forth. But we always managed to occupy ourselves with things.
My responsibility was stay out of trouble and, you know, mind your business and do well in school, those types of things. And I did. I did pretty well in school, and I enjoyed playing sports and so forth. I played baseball, football, hockey, and some basketball. I was not a great basketball fan. Barbara, because she was much younger than I and a different species, so to speak, we never really did too much together. I was her big brother, and I used to protect her, you know, that type of thing. She was very active in school. She enjoyed life. She had a lot of friends.
I went to dancing school, and so did Ethel, and that was a fun thing to do, to be in recitals. And as a matter of fact, Thelma and I, my cousin Thelma, we used to dance in different programs that the organizations like the American Legion and the Knights of Columbus men's organizations, back before the days of television, they would put on shows to raise money, and we used to participate in those, and it was a fun thing to do. We enjoyed it. It was a good life, yeah.
There was no TV, so we did the next best thing and listened to the radio and records and dancing. We had a lot of, when in high school, we had dances and so forth. It was fun.